Today I'm replacing the alternator on a 2005 BMW X5. This one has a 6-cylinder, pretty easy job to do. First thing you want to do is remove this upper air diverting cover here. So just these little 4 grommets here, here, and here. Pull those out. Use a tool like this, works best. You can use a screwdriver if you have to, but this is kind of nice to just get underneath the top. Pull the center out first and then pull the bottom of the plug out afterwards. Once that's out of the way, pull this air box out. There's just a few screws that hold this in place here, and then unplug your air mass meter, undo your hose clamp, and then pull this whole housing right out of here. After all that's out of the way, you want to remove this air boot altogether. Just hose clamp down here. Just pull this one that's closer to the front of the car off, and then you can pull this whole hose out of here with this intake muffler. All right, now you have that air boot out of the way. This is a good time, if you haven't already, to disconnect your power lead here or disconnect the battery in the trunk. I'm just going to pull it right here, just an 18mm socket to get this out of the way. And I just take this, I shut this with this cable on the outside so it can't arc. And then you can go over here to your power steering fluid reservoir and pull these 2 screws off. These go the top here. They're 8mm screws with a 13mm head. Pull this screw, that screw out, and then you can swing this reservoir over here and get it out of the way a little bit. Now to get the drive belt off of this, I'm going to pull the fan and fan shroud off. It's a lot easier. You can kind of do it in place if you're sneaky, but I'm going to try to just get this out of the way so you can see what I'm doing here a little better, and I can see what I'm doing better. So just undo these plugs here. Let's get that stuff out of the way. And down here, you have to get a tool on this, a wrench on this nut for the fan clutch, and unscrew that. These can go either way. A lot of times they're reverse thread, a lot of times that they're standard. The best way to tell which way it is to loosen it is whichever way the fan turns. So this fan would turn this way, right? To when it's operating, it would turn this way to blow air back. That's the way that you will loosen the nut. So that goes for any car. Whichever way it turns, this is the way you want to turn it to loosen it. So this is going to be reverse thread. I'm going to turn this clockwise. So I don't have the counter hold tool for this. So all I'm going to do is put a 32mm wrench on it and just tap it with a hammer clockwise, and it's going to come right off there. Yeah, I'm just using this one. It's not a high torque thing. And I'm just gonna tap this with a hammer and to undo it. It's not the proper way to do it, but it works well. Once that's loose, you kind of take the fan and you set it into the fan shroud, and then you can pull this little clip here, and then you can just pull this whole fan housing with the shroud. Kind of reach your hand in here and hold the fan and pull this all straight up out of there. Now with that out of the way, all you have to do is pull this little cap. This cap here, sorry I already did it, goes over this pulley here, down here at the tensioner. Right there. So once that's off there, you can take your 8mm Allen key, stick it through the center of this pulley on this bolt, and turn it clockwise until it pulls tension off the belt. You can just do it if you're moving on a hydraulic tensioner, so you have to kind of hold it and do it slowly. And once it pulls tension off, you can just grab the belt off of it with your other hand. So that's what I'm going to do since this guy's not getting a new belt. Once that's out of the way, you can unplug the alternator right here with the push in the little wire tab on this back connector. You can get to it right from the top. Pretty simple how that works. You just push in the spring clip and then undo that, and then you can take the 2 mounting bolts off. One of the mounting bolts on the top of this alternator is actually underneath this pulley here. This pulley, you just pop the cover off with a little screwdriver or pick or whatever you want, and just this cover, and then you just remove this bolt. I think use a 16mm. Yeah, a 16mm a socket or a wrench or whatever you want. It's fine. Pull that all the way out of there, and then the lower one you can see is down here. This is kind of dirty. It's a little hard to see, but the lower one is also a 16 millimeter, and it's right here. It's not too hard to get to, and just pull those both out, and then this alternator will be kind of loose in there. With both of those screws out of there, all you need to do now is kind of just pry it, get down here and pry it upwards until it's free, and then you can get to the nut on the back of this thing to pull the main power lead off once it's kind of loose. And you can just fit it right off the top here. So it's not too hard of a job to do. There it is, it's free. Not too hard of a job to do. You can, once you get just enough wiggle room where you can get to the back of it like this, undo this lead, 13 millimeter socket, and yeah, pull it straight out the top. So yeah, I'll show you it before I. Yeah, right there. There it is. That's out of the way. You can just pull this straight up. Thanks for watching.